breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me.
Put in Chains to Be Free. By Vicky Williams, Wabash County Sampler. We wandered over to the public square, curious to see what had drawn the large crowd. On a mat in the square's center, a small, slender man stood staring straight ahead. Two university students had already fastened him into a straitjacket, the so-called inescapable kind with the extra strap that passes between the legs. Now they were in the process of wrapping a heavy chain around his body, around his neck, his arms, his legs. Before they reached its long, heavy end, he was encased in chains that probably weighed almost as much as he did himself. The chain was padlocked to itself and then handcuffed to doubly ensure it would be escape-proof. He spoke to us in a voice that sounded, someone said, like he was in a trance, telling us a little about what would now take place as he tried to free himself from his bonds. He told us that there had been times when he'd gotten loose in as short a period of time as minutes, and at other times, it had taken hours, depending on how well his helpers had done their job of imprisoning him. He said that if we saw signs of progress, we should let him know in order to encourage him. He pointed out the donation box into which we could put our money if we thought his performance deserved a reward. Had anyone told me in advance that I would have been fascinated watching an escape artist free himself from chains and a straitjacket, I would have said positively, not my cup of tea at all. I would have been wrong. Tim Eric drew his crowd into a compelling alliance with him. Silent and enthralled, we watched the battle between the man and his bonds. It was obvious that the challenge was mental as much as physical. The head had to plan each next move, but the body must then struggle to implement it. Using toes, teeth, muscles and breath, he fought his way, painfully it seemed to us, to liberty. His audience whistled and yelled as each length of chain fell away. We held our breath and then heaved a collective sigh of relief as he loosened himself from the straitjacket. He was sweaty and exhausted, but triumphantly free. We closed around him to drop our offerings into the donation box and to ask questions. Sitting before his questioners, he kept one arm still in his lap, as if it hurt to move it. His previous robot voice was normal now. He told us that he meditates as he is being bound. With intense concentration, he is able to recognize problem areas in advance and have solutions worked out for them. That is, if everything goes according to plan, which it often doesn't. Tim Eric is 47 years old, though at first glance he appeared much younger. He has been an escape artist for 23 years. In those almost 2.5 decades, there have been 26 occasions when he was unable to escape and had to be set free. Each time it was because of a lack of oxygen. The chains cut off his oxygen, causing him to pass out. His job demands that he stay in almost perfect mental and physical condition. He often does not know what damage he's done to himself until the next day, when the strained muscles, pulled ligaments and chain scrapes make themselves painfully obvious. His home base is Key West, Florida, where he performs in the winter for the tourists. At the nightly sunset celebration on Mallory Square. During the summer, he travels the country, setting up wherever he takes a notion, dependent on the generosity of his voluntary audiences. During his show, I heard one man say, half in admiration and half in disbelief, "Geez, what a way to make a living." What a way to make a living, indeed, the irony of a man who wraps himself in chains in order to set himself free. Vicky Williams is a nationally syndicated columnist who writes about people and places in Wabash County twice a week exclusively for the Plain Dealer. You can contact Tim Eric by calling phone number 564-226-9706.